Hello, my name is Jenny Beach, and this is the case study for Truman Elementary School. The problem identification. What do I know? I am a second year principal with a low in a school with within a large district, but with relatively low reading scores. They progressively get lower as the kids go through school. They continuously lose reading comprehension and all that. The PTO has obviously taken notice. Have personally done observations, and because of my observations, I have already requested the reading supervisor, the district reading supervisor, to come in, and the reading supervisor has agreed with my personal observations. The State Board of Education has taken notice to our reading scores, and they have done grant applications available to schools with low reading scores. And the grant is to support reading initiatives as long as the school meets the guidelines. So part of our problem will be meeting said guidelines. The reading supervisor's observations reflected my own based off of this reading program that we're using, the fact that they're only doing it 1 hour a day, if that. They are doing it mostly all in the morning. They're doing basic whole group reading assessments, and then they are reading a story and doing a worksheet and then moving on to something else. The recommendations are focused on the phonics and phonetic skills, more balanced elements of reading, and focusing on data that helps inform instruction, and generally doing a major shift in curriculum education. What do I need to know? I need to know exactly what the basal reading program is, because I personally don't know anything about it, not being a reading teacher during my previous instructional time. How long has Truman Elementary been using this program, and what do teachers think about it? Why are they using it, and what programs do the teachers want to use, and why? So the problem identification is Truman Elementary has poor reading, and it is truly harming students' education. The State Department is providing grants for schools. Truman Elementary has to do better for student achievement, and basically Truman has to qualify for this grant. It's between $250,000 and $350,000, and that's a lot of added aid that would help benefit the students. So the proposed plan of action, the first and foremost thing I would do is I would call an in-house meeting. I would ask the staff what they think about the reading program. Do they think it's working? What do they think about the basic information that we know so far? And based off of their general discussion, I would make a couple different things. If they believe the reading program is working, I would show them the PTO letter. And if they begin to argue the PTO letter, I would then again show them the reading supervisor's letter, and this is not working. And then I would, of course, show them the data along with that to prove that this is not helping, and the stakeholders that are invested in it don't think that it's working as well. I would focus on solutions. I would not say you're bad, terrible teachers, but I would say, okay, from here moving forward, what are we going to do next? I would formulate a committee based off of, I would have one grade level teacher in this committee, and the committee itself would research beneficial new curriculums to start implementing in new ways of teaching education, and kind of also help look at the daily schedule, because elementary schedule is hard to mess with when they get pulled out for different things like art programs and PE programs and different things like that. It is not a first hour, second hour, but we need to kind of develop something that works better for our student body. I would create an end date to have proposals, plans, different things like that. And I would also request basic information by the PTO date, because I will be on the hook because I will be going to PTO meeting. I would also, in this staff meeting, organize and discuss reading campaigns, which I believe are remarkably important. Campaigns get people invested, it's a cultural thing. And as an individual, I'm very into cultural shifts and cultural change in organizations. So I would kick off a reading campaign with a librarian and focus everything on reading. So we would have things like coming to a theater near you, where looking at what books have been turned into movies and how to get the kids involved in those books before and then have a movie night with the kids. I would have graphic novel challenges to read graphic novels and dress up like your favorite character or even write graphic novels. Kids can really get into that, and it spans both high and low kids based on graphic novels. It can be really engaging. I would have a principal's reading corner where I would grab a couple bean bags, sit down and have reading sessions with kids. I would pop into classes when they're doing their reading programs and really kind of help differentiate and help focus on reading as a beneficial and fun activity for the kids. I would have teacher storyboards where teachers promote their favorite books or their favorite characters from these books. And I'd have imagery. I'd ask the teachers to create imagery in their classroom that associates that. So whether it's a poster of all their different titles and authors and characters that they love, or dioramas of basic scenes that they've loved. So having that personal connection with teaching and reading. I would have a Read Across America focus on readings of different cultures and different things all over America, spreading it out. There is a 5% Hispanic population. So we would focus on maybe Hispanic culture for a week, not just a week, but focus on Hispanic culture and reading books about that and grade level based on their abilities, their willingness, and their capability to continue reading. I would have a battle of the books, maybe during March Madness, have a bracket. How many people read this book? How many people read this book? What's going to be the best book? How many kids are going to read this book? I would do race to the library. So how many kids, each book that a kid reads gets a footprint or whatever Truman's logo is. Maybe it's a Mustang, maybe it's a Panther, whatever Truman's logo is. Every book you get one of those printouts, and we would paste it from that classroom around to the library. And so which class has read the most books? Which class has been able to do the most this? And it would be a school race across or race to the library. And then in the library, I'd also try to have like student recommendations, book reviews, different things like that. So students take initiative of promoting certain books to other students. This becomes a cultural thing, a cultural reading aspect. So something I would have with the district, I would have an open, honest conversation with the superintendent and the reading supervisor. I think those are crucial to understand, for them to understand what is going on in Truman School. I would talk to them about the PTO, I would talk to them about the data, and I would talk to them about my general concerns after my staff meeting and discussion with the teachers and with the librarian about the campaigns. I would have a discussion with them about the grant information and the application process that is necessary for that, including the data requested, the all the different information that's going to be needed for the grant. I would also request the reading supervisor to do professional development with our teachers, have them come in with the staff, maybe meet a couple different times with staff that might request different help or need stuff with that, and also with the librarian to help figure out how to promote this reading, make the library very reading friendly, not just a stack of shelves, but reading friendly location. Next, I would focus on my PTO plan. I would initially write a thank you letter to the PTO president, Mary Sarosky, maybe. I would thank her for the opportunity to talk to the PTO. I would come humbly. I would request a specific allotted time. I would do this because I don't need to be beat up. I don't want to be beat up. But so I would request an allotted time to present and to take questions, and then the time be over. I would then create my presentation focusing on the current data, have the teachers' input on the proposal plan, talk about the different campaigns, get suggestions, and talk about the timeline that is going to be needed to increase our reading program. I would present that we will also be doing weekly emails, giving the teachers updates on the campaigns that we're doing, on the progress of the grants, progress of everything else. And I would also request a parent committee for evaluating the curriculum that the teachers have suggested. The action plan for the grant would be a calendar of important information and dates. I would compile current data in a usable format. I'd work with staff to research the best instructional practices that we want. I would create a letter request for the statement of commitment from the district and from everybody else. I would create a proposal of activities and desired goals to be put into that grant application. And I would create a budget of ideas focusing on PD, training staff and staff aides. The problem with grants and using aides is once the money goes away, then that aid goes away. So we need to build a foundation of quality staff members that doesn't inhibit us when the money goes away. So other things I would use the grant money for would be books and software and different things to help students progress in their reading, not necessarily focusing necessarily on individuals. Resolve the issue based on the promotion of all students. By creating the challenges, we are focusing on paying attention to reading of all the students, the high kids and the low kids. Everybody can compete in these challenges. Working with teachers to choose the best curriculum. Teachers know their students best. Teachers know what's going to work, what's not going to work in their class, what's going to work in their time frame. Having them be a part of this discussion, I feel like, is crucial to buy-in. Debrief on the problem. What was I thinking, feeling, and valuing? I feel really badly for the students for not being given the education, for the kids that are bored, and for the kids that are struggling. I feel badly for them. I'm frustrated with teachers that knew the program wasn't working and did nothing to change it, or barely changed in their own classroom. I'm nervous to talk to the parents. I don't like getting beat up on things. I'm frightened we won't qualify for the grant since we don't hit the Title I qualifications. I am determined to make system changes for the betterment of our student body. Unresolved. Will we get it? Will the teachers get on board? Will the reading scores go up? Will the PTO have my head on the stick? Or will they be satisfied with the plan? Will they engage with us? Will the district support us? So Standard 8 says an educational leader promotes the academic success and personal well-being of every student. So how did I act as an agent of continuous improvement? I think the letter to the PTO shows them that it is not just, okay, I'll show up, but it's a thank you for bringing this to my attention. Thank you for doing this. I think the campaigns will promote reading and having the PTO know about it and having the weekly updates about it. I think that will really show the investment that we have for the PTO's input and for everybody involved. And starting the committee allows the teachers to be involved in the process as much as possible as well. How did the administration use data presented to the response and communicate to the larger community their concerns? Using the 3-year data is crucial to showing the declining reading scores. Organizing the committee based off grade level shows that illustrates the understanding that grades need different things, and focusing on the grant, allowing the data to qualify us for the benefit of all of our students. I'm sorry, I'm running out of time, so I'm trying to hustle through here. How does administrator establish ongoing dialogue? The weekly updates are going to be really, really important on that. Continuous updates for the PTO meetings. I will send a letter or show up to the PTO meetings to really help. And having the parent group discuss the proposed curriculum, I think will show that we value parents' opinions in our school. Oh, I made it. And that was it. Essentially, the way I really believe this, the data shows that we're not being successful. So we need to change our commitment to reading to show that for our data to then show that we are doing something good. Having the campaigns as opposed to reading scores or reading tests will get the kids invested in reading and understand the value of it. And then letting them take the test, the scores will automatically grow up if we show we value reading. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a